What is going on? Welcome to this week's episode of the Second of Strength podcast. Wherever you are, I'm grateful you're here. Grateful you're spending those valuable seconds with me. I believe that you can change your life in 1 second. You have the power in 1 second of strength to overcome the emotions you're feeling. Choose to start, choose to get back up, choose to move your life forward. And all it takes is 1 little second of strength. And I know sometimes life is a little bit difficult, life's a little bit challenging, but you have that power. And hey, if you haven't done so already, it helps me a ton. If you take just 30 seconds, pause this, go and leave, wherever you're listening to this, go and leave a rating and review. Truthfully, it's the only way this podcast gets out to more people is by you leaving a rating and review so it gets recommended to more people and or you share it. So if you could do that, it really helps me a ton. And if my content or the things that I've shared with you or your teenagers has ever helped you, I'd appreciate if you take just a couple seconds and do that. So one little plug for me right there. But today we're going to talk a little bit about resilience. One of the most common questions I get from parents, I get from teenagers, I get from educators is what is going on in the world today with our kids and not being more resilient, or how do a lot of parents will say is, how do I become more resilient? What do I do? What do I do? And as I think about my life and my career and the things that I've accomplished, and I'm not where I want to be, but I'm a lot further than I was, a lot of it comes down to that, just one word, resilient. And I think that if we can begin to take baby steps of resilience in our lives, we're going to get to a point where when things come our way, when the storms come, when it gets difficult, we're able to continue on and move forward. And if we can do that, we can consistently pick ourselves up. Or if you're a teenager listening to this and you can consistently pick yourself up through life, through challenges, because life is kind of hard, then you will end up in a really, really great place no matter what happens, no matter what storms come your way. So I want to offer a couple of things that I just believe that you can do to be more resilient in your life. And the first one, it starts with purpose. We've got to define a little bit what our purpose is and what we want to accomplish and set these goals in our lives that we want to move towards. Call it the North Star of your life. And I am not saying that you have to have it all figured out. If you're a teenager listening to this, then you don't have to know your life's purpose. It's not gonna, you just don't have to know your life's purpose yet. However, are there things that you're working towards? Are there goals? Are there carrots that you can put out there to move your life forward? Because if we don't have those things, then it becomes really hard to stand back up when life gets hard. And one of the failure is an option in our life. Failure is always an option, but the reality is so is success, so is growth, so is accomplishing what you want, but it starts with knowing where you want to go and start moving towards, even if you don't know how to get there. And nobody has life figured out. We don't really know what we're doing. I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm just moving forward. And if I figure out it's the wrong way, then I just pivot. I make a little shift. But one of the ways to do this is when you set your course. When you have purpose, you know where you want to go, then you've got to burn the boats. And this is a phrase that's been said a lot. I think it was Cortez when he brought the Spanish conquistadors across the ocean. As the story goes, true or false, I don't really know, but as the story goes, when they got to the Americas, he instructed his soldiers to burn the boats. And that might sound crazy, but the reason why is because mentally they needed to move forward. Mentally they had to push on and go forward to conquer the Americas, or the Aztecs, the Mayans, whoever they were attacking at the time, to conquer the land. But they did it so they couldn't go backwards. And I think too many times we have these goals, we have this purpose, we have these things that we want to accomplish in our life, but we tie ourselves to the shoreline because we know we could go backwards. And if you really want to be more resilient, then burn the boats. If you really want to move forward in your life, then stop giving yourself an out and only give yourself a way through. Only give yourself a way forward. So that's the first thing. It starts with purpose. And I would take a few minutes today and I would just identify, what are you working towards? What are you, reset, reground yourself in what your purpose is, what you're moving towards, what your goal is. It may be as simple as, making a sports team. It may be as simple as um, getting, moving towards your degree or your education. It may be something as like building a business. For parents, it might be just raising good, healthy kids. Whatever it is, set your intentions on that and burn the boats. There's no going back. There's only going forward. So that's the first thing I would do. The second thing is this. To be more resilient in your life, I would focus on the small wins. I think that when life gets hard, when we fail, when we fall short, we always focus on our losses and the reason why we're not good enough instead of focusing on all the micro successes that we've had along the way. And there are tons of them. Celebrate your small wins, because when you do that, you'll recognize that, hey, I am good enough. Hey, I am strong enough. Hey, I do have what it takes. Hey, I am a person who succeeds. I am a person who wins. And when you start to identify that, and that becomes a core characteristic of who you are, then you don't count your losses and start building up the failures that you have in your life. You've got a stack of wins that you can lean on all the time. So let's stop focusing on our losses, big or small, and start focusing on our wins, our small wins, the everyday wins that you do. When you take a loss, an L, right? You call it an L, you can either lose or learn. You're either a loser or a learner. Every loss is one step closer towards the success that you want to have in your life. Every loss is a win because you are that much closer, maybe through trial and error, but you are that much closer to who you want to be and where you want to get to. So let's start focusing on our small wins and instead of counting our L's as losses, let's count them as learning. Let's get one step closer every single day, even through the losses. So that will help you be more resilient. The third one is we've got to take care of us. If you want to overcome the challenges, the trials, the losses, the failures, if you want to overcome them, then you need to build yourself up now, so that when the storm comes in life, you are able to weather it in a strong, successful way. And it doesn't mean it won't hurt. It doesn't mean it won't beat you down, but it does mean that you will be strong enough to withstand that. We used to live in Arizona, and I was always amazed that these haboobs would come through. They call them haboobs, and it's these big dust storms. If you ever seen the movie The Mummy, so these dust storms roll through, and it's just a blackout, for better words, but it's just dust. You can't see anything. But when the dust comes, it comes with these big strong winds. And it always amazed me that the trees in Arizona could not withstand the wind. They would always get knocked over, even if it wasn't even a strong wind. However, when I grew up in Oklahoma, where we are accustomed to strong winds, we are accustomed to tornadoes, we are accustomed to different things like that, the strongest winds could come 70 miles an hour. And the trees would stay strong because they had these deep roots. And that's what you have to do to be resilient in your life. To withstand the winds and the storms that come, you need to build deeper roots. You need to grow deeper. And you do that by taking care of yourself emotionally. You do that by taking care of yourself physically. And you do that by taking care of yourself spiritually every single day. And if you can do that, and you can focus on mindset and working on your mind, working on your emotions, you can work on your physical health, and you can work on your spirituality and the hope that you have in the world in the future. If you can do that, then your roots will go deep. And no matter what comes, no matter the storms, no matter the struggles, no matter the pains, no matter what is going on in your life, you will be strong enough to withstand them so that when the winds stop, you can move forward. So that's the third thing. Take care of yourself emotionally, physically, and spiritually, and it will help you withstand the storms of life so you can be more resilient and stand back up and continue to move forward. The fourth one is this. You have to choose. And I'm not saying in the moment choose. I'm saying before. Choose right now that you will not quit. Choose right now that you will stand up and keep going, keep moving forward no matter what happens. That is a choice. Your life is a choice. It takes 1 second of strength to choose right now that you are a person that you will not give up. You will keep going. And yes, when bad things happen, when the storms of life comes, it is okay to feel what's going on. It's okay to feel your emotions. It's okay to recognize and understand the loss or mourn for just a little bit. But at that point, you've got to get back up. You've got to move forward. And you do that because you've already made a choice not in the moment, because it's hard in the moment. You made a choice before the moment that you were going to move forward, that you were going to push on, that you were going to continue through. When life gets hard, when the storms come, when life is happening to you and all this, it's rough, right? I get it. When it happens, learn to pause, learn to rest, learn to recover, but don't quit. Rest, don't quit. That's it. But you do that beforehand. It's really hard to do it in the moment, in that second. And very simply, if you are, someone who is prone to, binge eating or eating sweets or whatever, when life gets stressful, you eat those sweets. Well, you don't choose in the moment to not eat the sweets because it's really hard to do that. You choose beforehand. You choose by not buying them. You choose by setting yourself up for success, by committing that you're not going to do those things ahead of time. And then when it gets really hard in the moment, you go, I've already made the choice that I'm not going to do that. I've already made the choice that I'm not going to put myself in a situation that where I'll falter or where I'll fall. It's okay to struggle. It's okay to mess up, slip up, trip up, fall. But let's choose ahead of time that we're not going to quit. We may pause, we may rest, but then we've got to move on. And the fifth thing that you have to do to be more resilient, it starts with action. Nobody is motivated. Nobody is wanting to do, if it's exercise, nobody's motivated to exercise. We're just not. Like, human beings want comfort. We want safety. That is what our brain is conditioned to do through the fight or flight method for years and years and years, all our ancestors. But the reality is that if you want to be resilient, then it starts by taking action. Motivation follows action, not the other way around. And if you want to be successful, if you want to grow, if you want to overcome, if you want to be more resilient, then take action. Put down your phone, stop scrolling, stop watching the news, stop consuming media, stop spending your time on Netflix, and stand up and take action. The easiest way to do that is to fall back on taking care of you. The easiest thing to do is to stand up, put your phone down, and go outside and go on a walk. Get some vitamin D, replenish your body with nutrients and the vitamin D, and then go on a walk. And when you do that, your brain will start to trigger. Your brain will start to fire on all cylinders. And then you're able to think through the challenge that you're facing and get to where you want to go. You're able to stand back up. You're able to recall the purpose and focus on what's the next best step you can take, no matter what happened, no matter how you failed, how you faltered. But that's what learning is. That's how we learn to overcome. Yep, take the loss. Yep, you struggled. Yep, you might have fallen. It may be tragic. It may be a big deal, but you are strong enough to move through it, and you are resilient enough to move through it. So I hope this helps you a little bit. I just, I think about all the parents, any of you out there that are in a mode of resilience, that are in a mode of wanting to become something greater than you currently are. And you've got these dreams and these visions, but to get there, you've got to learn how to overcome. You've got to learn how to overcome the challenges you're facing. And I know for teenagers, it's really hard because teenagers think emotionally. Teenagers think, emotions first, and then the world is falling apart. But you also have the power in 1 second of strength to choose your emotions. And if life feels hard, let's choose a different emotion. If life gets difficult, let's choose a different emotion and move forward and get to where you want to go. And I know that through doing that, and you'll become a person who doesn't quit. You'll become a person who celebrates those small wins. And in the end, no matter what happens, no matter where you end up, you'll be happier and you'll be more successful. So I hope that helps you today. Wherever you're at, share this with someone else. Share this with someone who needs it today. It's just some very simple, tips and tricks to help you be more resilient. And again, if you haven't done so already, leave a rating and review for the show. It helps me a ton. And I'll leave you the same way I always leave you. Go find your 1 second of strength and be happy.